Next up, something no producer can live without at the moment, especially if you do a lot of stuff for customers. Hey guys, and welcome to the studio. Today I'm slightly hungover and totally exhausted from moving and going to that World Club Dome party in that huge arena with Martin Garrix, Robin Schulz. The second day was a little bit better, maybe because I had more drinks. I don't know if you can see it, but I bruised my forehead. There's like a big scratch. I don't know how this happened. I really don't know. So today I escaped all of the moving madness, all of the party madness here in the studio just to focus on making music for the entire day. This means today a nerdy video for all of the music producers out there. And since it's the beginning of the year, we'll talk about the top 10 plugins you should get in 2020. Just to make it clear really quick, this is my top 10 list. These are plugins I'm actually using to make my electronic dance music every day here in the studio on this channel. If you're interested, just follow along. The first one is by Isotope, the entire bundle, to be honest. You got Ozone 9 for mastering, which is one of the best. Even my mastering engineer uses it, plus his analog gear. You got Neutron for mixing, and you got the entire RX bundle for restoration, fixing things, declicking, denoising, getting rid of reverb. All of this kind of stuff that is really, really handy. And the main reason I'm using their stuff is that it's a new approach. They are not just like copying old vintage stuff. They also implement new things, algorithm-based, AI-based kind of stuff that helps you to mix, helps you to master. You can just let your track be analyzed by the plugin and it will do basic stuff for you very quick and easy, a lot of presets. And again, like this modern thinking, trying out new things is what I highly appreciate. Next up, a very small plugin, something that is already fairly old, but I still use it every single day. If you make electronic dance music, there is no way getting around sidechaining. And the one by X-Fair Records by Steve Duda called LFO Tool is my go-to sidechaining plugin. You just put it on your chain, it starts pumping, makes all of the settings very easy, presets again, and you can get rid of the clicks. If your sidechain a little too hard, you can draw your sidechain curve in there. It's like everything you need and not more than that. That's what I love about it. And it's not really CPU hungry, so it's basically on everything except the kick. By the way, if you're interested, all of these plugins will be linked down below in the description as a list. You can just click on it, check everything out and see for yourself, like downloading demos of them, if it's actually something for you. I think that's very important. Just get the demo. Don't be fooled by anyone telling you it's the best ever. Just try it out for yourself. Next up, my all-time favorite. It's for free. It's a no-brainer. If you don't have it yet, get it immediately. It's by Voxengo Span. It's an analyzer that shows you like the entire frequencies of the song. You can see where like gaps are in the mix. You can see resonating frequencies. You can see how loud your song actually is. You can also hit command and sweep through the frequencies to find like resonating frequencies. You can see the keys of for example, a bass line. You just hover over it. You have a lot of options to have even the stereo signal separated from the mono signal, left, right, all in different graphs. It's still amazing that it's for free. Next up is something a little more specialized to color everything, to give it like that vintage feel, that fuzziness, that saturation. And these are the Audio RC20 color vintage effects. I put them on, again, almost everything, but just like a tiny bit. I just mix it in. And just, yeah, it gives this richness and fatness that otherwise would be a little harder to get. The next one is a simple loudness meter, but I think it's like the most precise, that gives you the most information in like the least kind of amount of things on the screen. So that's also part of my master chain usually. Either span, the loudness meter, maybe even both, just to double check. Next up, something for your drums by Sugar Bytes. They have a drum computer that I'm using more and more. Next up, something no producer can live without at the moment, especially if you do a lot of stuff for customers, and that is Auto-Tune by Antares. Like, everyone has it, everyone uses it, it's the best, no questions about it, and it gives you that like very known typical Auto-Tune sound in an instance. Very easy to use, it's very stable. I have a, like, also even if it's not audible, I put it still on vocals to correct them slightly and just to make them sound better. And since you don't even need an iLog anymore for it, it's even more fun, because like having this dongle always with you, especially producing on the go, is quite annoying. So I'm happy they changed that. The next one is my favorite, my go-to since a couple of months, to be honest, because I was always using Diva a lot for my classic kind of bass sounds, but by Wave Alchemy Bass Synth, it just replaced it, at least for the low end. You can only use it through Native Instruments Contact, which is like the only downside of it. It's extremely good, extremely versatile, gives you a lot of modern bass sounds, very complex bass sounds. Next up, two of my secret weapons, Gulfos. It's an EQ, a match EQ AI algorithm kind of thing. You just slap it on any kind of track, any kind of master chain, and just dial it in a little, like maybe 5%, and it will sound better. It's reacting to the song, changing things on the fly for you. There's not much you can change about the settings, but it's usually better than before. As far as I know, they named it Gulfos, which is like a famous waterfall, I think in Iceland, because they use like a very standardized, appealing sounding waterfall kind of sound to match songs to it and copy the frequencies and give you a very balanced mix. I don't really know what it does. I'm like just like half understanding it, but it works. You just put it on there and it sounds better. The second one is also a very smart reacting plugin called Soothy. It can filter out resonating frequencies. You see, it really reacts to the audio material, and by changing the depth, it decreases even more resonating frequencies. It's picking them up, and depending on the depth, not really changing a lot about them, or quite a lot. It's really handy. I use it a lot on guitars, because they can sound harsh depending on which kind of guitar, how you recorded it, and like the distortion you add to it, the amp that you add to it. But it just smoothens everything out a little. It works also on vocals for de-essing, synthesizers that might have some resonating frequencies and you can't get rid of them otherwise. But be gentle. If you overdo it, it makes everything like super clean and boring, and then it also doesn't really work anymore in the mix. We haven't talked a lot about synthesizers, because again, Diva is one of my favorites, but I've mentioned it so many times, so that's already a little boring. I'd say there's a new one that I really love by Kilohertz called Faceplant. It's a modular synthesizer, again, like with new approaches, things you might have not seen on other synthesizers. Very fat sounding, a lot of good presets, and yeah, I just love to play around with it. It's a little more like complicated because it's modular, but it also gives you a lot more options. So for all of the people that love to sound design, that's like one of the go-to synthesizers. The last place, I would love to give it to Diva, but yeah, I mentioned it already way too many times, so I think I will go with Serum. It's an old one, everyone already has it. If you have it not at the moment, get it. It's like one of the most important tools for electronic dance music. All of the modern sounding kind of stuff you can get out of that synthesizer. There's so many presets for it. There's so much stuff available to make it unique and sound really good. I just love it. It's also a tiny bit more complicated than Diva, but still manageable, and it's updated fairly often. And yeah, it's really for everything: wobble, future bass, chill, trap, hip hop. All these kind of sounds, they come out of Serum. I just absolutely love it. And I think that's basically already it. These are my top 10 plugins for 2020. Let me know in the comments if I've missed any plugin that you absolutely love, suggestions for everyone else watching, and I will now just spend this entire Sunday working on a new song, brand new song from scratch, and hopefully be able to share with you tomorrow what I've come up with, or maybe not, I don't know. Still a little hungover, head hurts, so I'll take it slow.